Hello, everybody. And it's Eddie Pepitone with Steve Lolly. Our guest had to cancel today because she thought better of it. Steve, yeah, so my car just broke down. It's amazing that we're doing a podcast today. My wife's car broke down. We don't know if it's if it's oil related, like the oil hasn't been changed in a while. Steve claims it might be a belt. I don't think it's a belt. But whatever, it's sitting on Lancashire here in Los Angeles, Southern California, in Los Angeles. And Steve, who usually doesn't have a car, grabbed me today.
I have the car today.
Yeah, my wife took my other car. Anyway, the reason I tell you this is to show you I'm human. A lot of people think, oh, Eddie Pepitone, he's a god. No, I put my pants on, etc.
Eddie's car broke down in the NoHo Arts District on the corner, near the corner of Magnolia and Lancashire. And what he doesn't really know is that his car is dreaming of auditioning for one of the theater companies there in the NoHo Arts District. And it just wanted to get rid of him so it could go in and the Acme Comedy Theater or something.
Well, my car knows that I don't do commercials unless asked. You know what's funny about not doing commercials? A friend of mine does commercials for Geico. And they're not funny people. Those commercials are not funny.
No.
They're not even cute. I don't know what they are. They're so, like, you sense that, they're going for some kind of lightness.
But most commercials are not funny.
Right, they used to be. But anyway, he works with them. And he told me, hey, I saw you at the Improv the other night. It was last week when I was on the Improv with Nick Swartzen. Look, am I name dropping? My car just died. Is that?
Nick Swartzen's name could not revive your car. Did you tell your car? Did you say, I worked with Nick Swartzen?
What?
Your car may have woken up if you had dropped that name.
It's my wife's car. But what I wanted to say was that my friend told me that the Geico people were at the Improv, and he had told the Geico people, hey, you got to see Eddie Pepitone. And, I make a big deal out of not doing, the corporate horse shit. But
they want you now?
I'm broke.
Do they want you?
Well, I'm not broke, but I'm getting there.
Did they ask you to do a Geico commercial?
No.
What did he say?
No. So I don't know if they saw me or they know that I'm very outspoken against corporate.
Yeah.
Because it's Geico Insurance, But my friend said he does some work in prosthetics on it. So nobody knows it's him in prosthetics on the commercials. So nobody knows it's him.
Oh, maybe they could do that to you. They could doll you up.
They could doll me up. Like, can you give me a big Nicole Kidman nose, the one she used for Virginia Woolf? You remember that?
Virginia Woolf?
Yeah, she played Virginia Woolf in some fucking thing. I forget what the name of the movie was.
Oh.
Do you know that, Emma?
I don't.
Oh, okay. So anyway, yeah, so the car broke down. Oh, me and you wanted to talk about a couple of things today, and welcome everybody to Pep Talks on YouTube. You're lucky to see us.
We haven't done a solo show in a while.
No, we haven't.
This is our first in months.
That's right. And let's get into it. We both bombed on Monday night.
You bombed my Tuesday. Last night was my
Okay, I bombed on Monday. I went to San Francisco. I want to say this. I went to San Francisco. I did Sketchfest, and I did 5 shows in 2 nights. They were all great. Packed houses. I did great. I just love San Francisco. Performing in San Francisco was pretty cool, even though there's a lot of political correctness there. A little over the top about gender shit. They're very politically correct about that, but I did great. And then I come back to LA, and I have a show on Monday night at the Laugh Factory, and I was really tired. A couple of factors. I was really tired. I ate a big avocado sandwich right before the set at Greenblatt's. The Laugh Factory on Sunset Boulevard has a old school delicatessen called Greenblatt's, and I'm vegan, so I was like, "What do you have vegan?" And it was an avocado avocado roasted. It was pretty good. Avocado, roasted red peppers, lettuce, tomato, and I put a lot of salt on it. I had pickles, and I ate that shit. I ate the whole sandwich.
How long before you went on? Like, give me an hour before you went on?
Half hour.
Oh, dude.
And I was tired to begin with. So I didn't have, I was a little stodgy, a little lethargic, a little weighed down by the heaviness of the sandwich.
Right.
And tired. And the crowd, man, they're very mainstream. But I shouldn't use that as an excuse, right?
No, because you told me what you did. Because you went on after the guys who were doing the stone dope jokes, and then you made fun of the crowd for not, you said, should I talk about being high? So you went at them before they even knew who you were, and you were tired, and you had a fucking huge sandwich, and you didn't have the fucking dexterity to pull out of that dive, dude.
Yeah.
Right? I know the feeling.
Yeah. It was, but what I wanted to say was that it was my first bomb in a long time. And, it just is painful. It's like what happens to me is that I think, oh my God, I'm a rank amateur. Like, no matter how many great shows, I just traveled Northeast and the South, killed, standing ovations, San Francisco Sketchfest. I have one bomb, and I think, you're just a fucking...
You go back to 20 years ago, 25 years ago or something.
Yeah, like I just think it's hard. I just go, wow. You have really very little skills as a stand-up comedian.
And it's at the Laugh Factory, which is a premier show. It wasn't at some bullshit hole in the wall,
Yeah.
Do you play the Laugh Factory often?
No. And that's why. And I told the crowd, I said, in the middle of the set where I was obviously not doing well, I said, I just kind of, I'm not, when I bomb, it's not too bad because I've been doing it so long that I'm like, okay, this is a bad night. I'm not going to fucking, get destroyed by it. So I go to the crowd as I'm bombing. I go, I just look around. I go, I never do well in this fucking place. This was the second bomb in a row I had there.
Oh,
I've done it before.
Wait. Did you do 2 shows that night?
No. This was years ago. I hadn't done it in a while. I was a little apprehensive.
Because of the last... When was the last one?
I think my next show there, if I have one...
will be great.
Well, I'll be in my head a little bit, but I'll be on... I'll make sure I'm rested, and I've eaten a couple of hours before.
Right. And maybe coffee. Maybe having some caffeine.
I don't think I had coffee. Yeah, I was just fucking out of it, man.
See, I like the Laugh Factory. I've had good shows at the Laugh Factory, but I only play them. Yeah, but I only play the black ones. The Chocolate Sundae is the only time they ever let me on.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe it's...
Did they really call it Chocolate Sundae?
Yeah, they call it Chocolate Sundae. And it's, by the way, I think it's the hottest show at the Laugh. I think it's their most popular...
Who are the guys who do it?
There's a guy named
names?
Pookie, who books the room, and then they have, I think Chris Spencer was the host for many years, actually.
Oh, okay.
Back when I was...
Chris, I know Chris.
So he got his local fame
funny.
off of hosting Chocolate Sundae. And
he was supposedly on that show that I was on.
I bombed so bad on Chocolate Sundae. Years when I first moved to L.A., 2002, Patrice O'Neill was there. Kevin Hart was there. I bombed. The audience was... And when you bomb in front of a black crowd, it's not just silence.
They heckle.
Oh, they were screaming at me.
Right.
And I melted down. I had like a meltdown. Not like Michael Richards' meltdown, but I had a...
I was thinking of Michael Richards when I was bombing. I was thinking, oh, okay, this, what is it? I feel like there's a weird energy at the Laugh Factory. Now, you do well there, so you don't...
Well, I had that show, though, but I recovered. So the next shows went fine. But yeah, but if you're a young comic or you're not established, you're established. People know you're good. But if you're not and you have a bomb,
they didn't know that night.
Yeah, the people at the comics and the bookers know you're Eddie Pepitone. If you weren't established and you bombed, then you're worried, are they going to let me do this again? Are they ever? I
was even worried about that, but I regularly get spots, so
Right.
I don't, I'm not that worried, and, plus, my wife's car just broke down and I bombed yesterday. And Terry Jones died today.
Yeah. Three in a row, man.
The Monty Python, one of the co-founders, John Cleese, Graham Chapman, Terry Jones, Eric Idle, and then Terry Gilliam, who did the animation and was in stuff. So it's 2 down. No, it's 2 down and 4 to go, I think.
Wait,
Cleese said.
Who else died? Terry Jones and who else?
Graham Parker.
Oh,
Graham Parker. Graham Chapman.
He died a while ago.
Yes, a while ago. Alcoholism related. But Terry Jones, I was so sad to see that because the Pythons, if you're a Monty Python fan, I just wanted to mention it today in the podcast. Terry Jones, just such, so funny doing the Pepper Potts. Oh, there's a penguin on the tape. Just Python was one of my early influences. One of my early influences that just made comedy like, subversive, smart.
It was smart.
It was smart. These guys, Cambridge, Oxford guys, but not stuck up. Like, they knew the upper classes,
They were making fun of them.
Yeah, they were making fun of them. So that's a sad day. Today's a sad day. My car, Terry Jones, and
the bomb.
I bombed, and I'm not sure which is the saddest. I think for me, it's the bomb, and then Terry Jones, then the car. But they're all very linked. Now, what was your bomb like last
my
night?
bomb was, so I wasn't at a place as prestigious as Eddie was at. I was at the Kibitz Room, which I do every Tuesday, by the way. So this is different from you. This is a regular gig I do every week. It's a hangout. They know me. Everybody knows me there. So this girl went on, very cute young girl, and she probably went on 2 before me. And she was doing a bit. And by the way, everybody bombed. So it was different from yours. Everybody bombed.
How many people were there? Was it?
It was packed.
It was packed?
It was packed. It was packed. It was the back to the front. It was packed. I mean, there were a few seats, but it was busy.
And everybody bombed.
So
in a packed room?
everybody who went on before me, except one guy.
Okay.
One guy got some mild laughter, some polite laughter. And then I went on, the girl went on 2 before me, was talking about, it's hard for me to recreate her bit, but she was talking about how she's in love with her, she goes, I'm so in love with my husband or my boyfriend, and he's going off to interview for a position as a college professor. Do you know how hard it is to get a job as a college professor? This is what she was talking about. Do you know how hard it is at this school to become a college professor? And I just watch my boyfriend or my husband or whoever, and I just watch him drink water, and I think, what a genius he is.
Watch him drink water.
Well, whatever. Her bit was basically about being enamored by her college professor boyfriend or husband. It didn't go well, but it made me angry, and I went on and made fun of her. Now, I made fun of her by saying, I just created a show. It's going to be coming out soon on Hulu. It's called I'm in Love with a College Professor. And we just sit around and watch college professors do inanimate, things with inanimate objects. And that got a laugh. One guy laughed. One guy laughed
in a packed house.
Yes, in a packed house. One guy laughed really hard. I went at him, and I said, that's all that counts, is that one guy, whatever. But then I went after her, and I said, how did comedy... I guess it wasn't as bad of a bomb because I said what I wanted to say. I said what I wanted to say, and I got it out. But at some point, I got off like after 5 minutes. I got off.
How much time did you have?
I probably had like 8 or 10 minutes I could have done.
And you got off?
I got off.
Why?
Because I knew it was going to be just counterproductive. I knew it was going to be bad because it was getting worse. So I got off, and I come to find out the girl who went on was part of a graduating class of female comedians who the place was full of all of her classmates.
Now hold it. You said that she bombed.
Yeah, well, they all bombed. They were all going on.
No.
She did.
Yeah, but
they weren't
very strange that, because usually those classroom type of things, when they bring people, those people are laughing.
It wasn't a classroom. They had graduated they had just recently finished a comedy class, and this was like one of their first outside shows. They all came together. They didn't come for the class. they didn't come.
No, but you said that most of the audience was there to see her.
They were. No. They were all part of the same class. They were all comics going on.
Okay.
So they were taking turns going on at this show.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood. I thought that they were.
But the point is they were the ones occupying the room.
Right.
So the fact that I went and made fun of her wasn't going to...
Yeah.
It wasn't going to bode well for me, you know.
Now, why did you... Now, here's the thing. I think we both have anger issues. And, you know, I've been good lately. Like, I got a little nasty with that audience, and it was arrogance on my part. I realized it was arrogance that I was thinking, hey, who are you people to reject me? Don't you know I'm Eddie Pepitone? You know, I have a car that recently broke down, among other credits. You know, so I mean, so that arrogance, like, and also I also go after other comics. You know. Sometimes, and I think that's not a cool thing to do sometimes. What do you think about that? Just because they're sharing the bill, you know, they're sharing the show, like to go after...
I don't like it when they do it to me, like when people go after me, but I think it's a necessary, for me, it's a necessary thing from now and again to get it off my chest if there's something that rub me the wrong way, or sometimes it gets a big laugh, man, you know, and if it gets a big laugh, I think that's the key. If you get a big laugh with whatever you're saying, it's kind of like a wash. It's going to be okay. But if you do what I did in Tank, then it's like, fuck that. Who the fuck is that, you know? But.
Right. I mean, the fact you didn't know that it was a classroom type of thing?
Afterward, I found out.
Yeah. Now, if you would have known, would have you done differently?
Yes, I would have done it, but I would have done it differently. I would have done it in a more lighthearted way.
You weren't lighthearted.
Oh, no. I said, how did it come to pass that, first of all, in the 60s, the young people, look, this was a young, beautiful girl. I go, in the 60s, the young people were talking about burn down the math building. How the fuck did this become, I put my tongue up the ass of a college professor?
Did she say that? I put my tongue up
no,
the... Oh,
but
you metaphorically.
Metaphorically. She was fawning over her college professor, yuppie. And I went into this, how did a person think this would be amusing? I didn't know she just graduated her fake comedy class or whatever.
Well, now we can get into the issues we talk about a lot when it's just me and you, which is, where is, and it's got to be there, but where is the spirit of rebellion in comedy? Where is that spirit?
Dead.
Yeah, is it? Because we're rageful people. Because we're just rageful. I know you're rageful. That's why you go to spiritual things, and I'm rageful.
That's why you don't eat meat.
That's why I go to spiritual things.
You mean
now? Rage fuels my comedy, but what the fuck? Where is that rage in comedians now? Who is rageful out there
beside you?
Well, other people like
Bill Burr.
Burr. He's super funny though. He takes that rage and makes it.
Did you see his Paper Tiger?
No, did you?
You should see it. It's funnier than Chappelle.
Okay, I believe that.
It's that funny.
Burr is, one or two. He's number one or two. Chappelle, Burr. Chappelle, Burr, Chappelle, Chappelle, Burr, Chappelle, 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 Burr, Chappelle. And they're coming around the corner. It's Burr, it's Chappelle, it's Burr, it's Chappelle, it's Bill Chappelle. Yeah, I mean, they're the top two right now because they erased Louis C.K.
Yeah,
he's been erased. God, the Louis C.K. thing. Just the way they erase people.
This is the thing. It was a street art. When I started comedy, I was emulating guys who had to fight their way out of someplace. Women too. Anyone, even broke men and ugly women who had to fight their way out of somewhere, who it couldn't get worse for them, so they chose stand-up comedy because it couldn't get any worse, And it just seems like the people now are like customer service representatives. They're like The guy who checks you at the teller at Wells Fargo is that quirky thing would be amusing. You know, a
lot of them are, yeah. But they don't. Most comics, they don't. If not all of them, 95% of them, they don't challenge the fucking status quo. And the audiences who come to shows, they get trained to also be docile, right?
Well, the audience,
I don't know.
I think the audience at the Laugh Factory, right, or the store too, and Improv, they're paying. What are they paying? $70 to come in, and
they're paying a lot.
They're paying a lot.
I find the store audiences and the improv audiences are more. They go with stuff more. You know, there's especially at the store, and sometimes.
I think you have a magical way of making them like you.
Yeah, but what's funny is that I should let go of that fucking. By the way, I'm just talking about the bomb because it really, when a comedian bombs, and other comics will tell you, if you're a comedian out there and you're watching, which you should be, when you bomb, it's a real like existential fucking thing, and I went home and I ate. I don't do drugs anymore.
What did you eat?
No, I just ate. I was like, I'm driving back from the Laugh Factory, and I don't have the outlet of drugs or alcohol. I did get into pot in December, but I'm like, no, I can't go that route again. I'll become just a blithering idiot. I can't smoke pot like a gentleman. Anyway,
you lose your memory gets worse when you smoke weed. But
I don't want to brag about my memory. But
after the avocado sandwich,
I'm just driving home. Yeah, I'm full, but I'm hurting. There's a hole inside me after bombing, and I'm driving home and go, I think I'll stop at Ralph's. And what did I think of getting? I'll get some flavored silk almond yogurt. This is basically how my face looked too. Like, I'll get some flavored silk almond yogurt, and I like the peach. I mean, it was so sad, I like the peach, I like the vanilla.
Did you ever bomb so bad that it affected you for like weeks?
Well, when I was younger.
Right.
When, a lot, and this is true too, and I could see it because I really felt that one, because comedians are vulnerable. You put yourself out there. If you're really putting yourself out there, you're kind of naked in front of the audience. Like you should have vulnerability. Like a lot of comics hide behind a persona. I do it to an extent too. You hide behind a persona. You hide behind your jokes. But if you're up there, there is a certain amount of vulnerability. It's just you, and you're asking the audience to really like you. And when they don't, it's a total fucking rejection, and it's a public rejection. It's a public humiliation, and it has made a lot of young, quote unquote, comics or people who are trying comedy quit. Bombing kind of separates the men from the boys.
It thins the herd a bit.
It thins the herd. It's like hunting. The deer people who say, oh, we're going to thin the herd, even though none of the deer has any say in that,
But there are more comics than there've ever been, so the herd is not getting, like there are, maybe we need to like deregulate the hunting laws for comedy. Because...
Yeah, well, I think though there's a way that the comedy scene has a way of thinning out a lot of the jack-offs who are just there. Oh, I'm going to be seen. Like in L.A., you get a lot of people who are actors who want to, because there's so many actors here, they want to be seen as a stand-up, I'll tell you, whenever I know, I'm just so hostile to various things. Like when I hear that there's industry in a crowd, when there's Hollywood industry, agents, managers.
You ratchet up the radical shit.
Yeah, I ratchet up the vitriol about everything.
I like that, though, but that's good. And you get laughs most of the time.
So what we were talking about, though, the serious issue we were talking about, and this kind of goes to everything, is where is the rage against corporate-owned America? Where is the rage that almost half the country is in poverty, and just large swaths of the country is just a wasteland, and people, and you were talking about the girl who, just talking about her college professor instead of burning down the math building. Is it, what is it? Is it because, we're numbed? We're numbed, like, that book that I bring up a lot, Amusing Ourselves to Death by Neil Postman, a great book. It was actually written before the internet. He just talks about, and I think it was Huxley who said, no, the population doesn't need to be under an iron-toed boot, wicked totalitarianism. It needs just to be, Soma was the drug they gave the population in the novel 1984, right? Or am I thinking? No, Brave New World, sorry. I know you don't read, so what the fuck are you looking at me? And, in Brave New World, it's like, people just need to be in, right. Oh. And a lot of people, are, right? But I would think there is a vicious rage out there, and it's being manifested by people, voting for Trump, who's an obvious fucking imbecile. But Trump, he's mean to people. He's mean to the establishment, in quotes. So they don't see through him. They just like that he's being mean when he is the establishment. Giving tax cuts to his fellow billionaire. So where is
some of it's because we're in LA. Like you said, some of it's because we're in LA and everybody's showcasing, trying to impress somebody.
I'm not showcasing at this point.
No.
I'm 61, and I was hoping to be on New Faces in Montreal this year. And the Montreal Comedy Festival is hilarious too. They're like, it's just, there are a lot of comics, and I don't know, man. I just feel like,
when you go out to Middle America and you're touring, they eat it up. They eat up what you do. So that they're out. The audience is out there, right? The audience is out there. And if you were a bigger name, if either of us were a bigger name and we cast a big net, like Louis or Bill or Chappelle, you would be catching a lot larger. But does a corporation have to make an investment in you? That's my question. Do they have to make a large investment in you in order for you to be able to cast that net to get? And
I'm not going to lie. I mean, I need money. I mean, that's why when my friend brought up this Geico commercial, there was part of me entertaining. Oh yeah, if they want me, I was like thinking, oh, should I? And here I am saying adamantly, fuck the insurance companies. They're scum.
Yeah, but if you stop doing that, what do you have? That's everything you have.
If I stop doing,
if you stop raging, what do you have? Who are you? I mean, that's all we have is our true that edge, that like killer. You can swing a sword.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't have anything. You're up there dancing for a fat guy with a cigar in the back of the room.
Yeah. But here's what happens to me. Like when I go to the Comedy Store, let's just take the Comedy Store. It's a great club. It's always packed. And, I'm watching a couple of comics before me, and they're being very funny. They are being very funny. And everybody's having a good time. I feel like, I don't know if I want to talk about all the...
You're afraid.
Dystopia, all the poverty, because the other argument is, hey, people come to comedy clubs to forget about that shit. What do you think of that argument?
Yeah, I'm torn. There's part of me that says, make them happy and get through this. Just get through this.
But where's your real you in that?
No, what happens is I get angry and I'm like, there's a lie going on here. There's a lie.
Oh, yeah.
There's a dishonesty going on here. And if I don't exploit, if I don't go straight for that, I won't be able to... I won't know who I am tomorrow. So if I don't do it tonight, and you put enough of those together where they work, and then suddenly you're a very good comedian. If you can put enough of those together where they work, But fuck, man, it's still it's a frightening thing. It's still a frightening thing. I miss the black clubs because I could go into the black clubs and it was like. When they would love what you would do, it was 10 times amplified, the reaction. as in a mainstream club. So it gave me confidence. That gave me confidence to go do it in a mainstream club. And I was less afraid of a white group of people.
Right.
You know, so that is the whole difference for me personally. I can't speak to what other people have had. But it is magical watching you do it in those mainstream rooms, because there is this dishonesty going on between the audience and the comic.
A dishonesty that, everything's okay with our world,
or the level of protest is so there's something left out. You know, there's something not unspoken, and then you go up there and you articulate all the things that weren't said, right, between the last 3 comics who went on, and it's great, and it is great. I mean, it's kind of an amazing thing to watch, and I've watched you about 100 times now, so I've seen ones where you didn't do good at first. I've seen ones where the first 3, 4, 5 minutes you're doing your thing, and people are like, "What the fuck is going on here?" And then something gets lifted. And
but I remember a big comic saying, "Hey, look, our job isn't to be activists. Our job is to be funny." So that hit me like, "Oh, he's right about that." I think that's our first. Oh, he said our first job. Our first job is to be funny. You know, instead of being like activists, you know, but you're not going up there giving a speech about fucking right. You know, right. I used to go up there talking about. I haven't done this one in a while, but talking about, you know, you ever go into an Apple store and you just realize, you know, you're in a place where it's kind of like one of those cults where they had like jumpers on, you know, in the Apple store. It's like people have jumpers and they're waiting for like, you know, it was that horrible group that killed themselves. The Hale-Bopp Comet.
Wait,
don't
you
worry.
Mean the Purple Shroud.
Whatever. And when you go in the Apple store, and I remember the Apple store should have a slogan like, Apple, we give elegance an empty feeling. Like everything about Apple is elegant in a way. It's all white. It's all streamlined, you know, but there's such an emptiness to it, you know?
It's selling the future. What they're selling is here you can be part of the future.
Yeah.
That's what they're selling. If you want to get down to the...
But you want to talk about like divorced from any kind of real revolt or any kind of, I'm just wondering, where do people put their rage in this society? And I think it's they work out a lot, they run a lot, you know what I mean? They run a lot, they work out a lot, they do a lot of drugs, they suppress it a lot. The thing about drugs though is that then it comes out because you suppress it, and then until you can't suppress it anymore, you know? But people get into habits of like, okay, I'm going to work out, I'm going to run out.
Do you remember the bit you did at the store about the guy running in North Hollywood?
What'd I say?
See, you don't even remember he
what
doesn't
was
even
it?
remember.
No, I'll remember it if you tell me.
You said, you know, I'm a comedian and I'm up late at night, and sometimes I'm driving home at the early hours of the morning and I see the guy just running.
He's jogging at 6 a.m.
He's running. And I look at him and I think, you're not going to win.
No, he's like, people who jog at 6 a.m. are like, their inner monologue is like, I'm going to win at life. I'm winning at life. I'm up at 6 a.m. and then I'm jogging. I'm going to win. I'm going to win. I'm going to win. I'm going to win. And I'm like, let me tell you something. Just because you're jogging at 6 a.m. doesn't make up for the fact that you're a controlling scumbag.
That's not what you said that night, though. I don't remember how you did it that night.
Because I think those are type A people who get up at 6 a.m.
But that's so funny.
What'd I say?
I don't remember exactly, but it was fucking hysterical. And that's social commentary. And it's funny. And it's your opinion.
Apple, we give emptiness a certain elegance. Yeah, they're selling people the future. But where do people put their rage? Because the internet is rage-inducing. And I'm not even talking about the bullshit arguments, you can get into politically on Facebook, when you're in your little echo chamber. That's what I realized too, is that I'm on Facebook. When I go on Facebook, the Facebook logarithm sends me to like-minded people. And I'm reading all their posts, which are like mine, and I'm like, well, this is a little echo chamber.
Right.
I don't, until you get somebody who comes in there and then, they're just looking to fucking like make you pissed, or you don't think they are though, and you need to educate them. And it's just so, going online is kind of just so disheartening because. You're not really, even though I've met a lot of nice people online,
Who have you met online?
I've met a lot of nice, fans and stuff. They're very nice and they're cool, and other people are cool, but it isn't human to human contact. There's something so disenchanting about it once you're like, for me, it's like an hour at the most where I'm online doing shit and then I put down the computer and I'm like, oh God, I'm so empty.
But
that's my feeling.
I gotta say this. I know it really is the exception to the rule, but I finally got laid because of online.
Well, that's a different.
It was on Facebook. I met the girl on Facebook and she invited me to come visit her when I was, in town, when I was out of town, and so I can't. That's a pretty positive thing. I mean, that was definitely human contact.
Mm-hmm. But even encounters like that, like it's like you don't know that person.
No,
you don't fucking know that. You're rolling the dice, bro. That could be a lunatic.
You got to roll the dice for that kind of a thing. I mean, when you haven't been laid in a year, you gotta.
Oh, this was after the accident.
Yeah, this was after the accident. For those of you who didn't or know or may have not been watching us, I hadn't been laid since an accident.
By the way, if you just stumbled on this on YouTube, you're probably going, who are these fucking sad sacks? We're two comedians trying to find out what to do with our rage. That's kind of the topic today. We don't have any calls, but I should give the info, right?
Yeah.
Keep talking.
I want to say this, by the way.
Go ahead, say something.
And this. I think I speak for Eddie and any other comedian. When you're not bombing and your sets are going great, there's no internal monologue about what should I do or what. There's not as much introspective criticism of I'm not doing that right, and what's the reason and purpose, because it's all going well and there's no reason to really overthink it, right?
Yeah, keep talking.
Thanks. So, yeah.
You reached the end of your... So listen, if you want to leave a message, right? Our producer, Matt Rasamoto, did not send us any ads today. We also read ads from advertisers who may or may not exist. Matt had a tough day too today.
Yeah.
He's fine, but he had a tough day. So, it's another thing. So if you want to leave a message, 424-262-0904. That's 424-262-0904. Also, hit the donate button. We got a $5 donation. I meant to tell you that. So it's $2.50.
That's...
yeah, we're doing well.
Thank you, whoever sent that.
We did get a text, and it said this week, you can text us at that same number, and we got a text that said, my Apple ID verification code is 574956. Yeah.
As a joke?
So you want to donate, you go to peptalkspodcast.com. There's a donate button. Leave us a message at 424-262-0904. You could email us at fanmail@peptalkspodcast.com. Yeah, man. So you never really kind of answered my question. Do people not have the rage because of the Huxley factor, the Brave New World factor? Everybody's, watching
I believe,
murder shows.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The rage will come. Will be really transparent when people can't afford tickets to Coachella. When the yuppies can't afford tickets to Coachella, I'm not kidding. When the people living in Westwood and Brentwood and when they can't send their kids to Coachella for the weekend, for the week, you know, when the rich people start getting scared and the economy is really, I hate to say it, but when the economy really starts to visibly, when it comes apart at the seams, then the crash, the next collapse or whatever's coming, that's when you'll have when you'll see, and the counterculture will become like the mainstream. That's when I think it will happen. Because the fact that a young person would...
But I feel like since we, you know, and I see it so much in the big clubs that people seem relatively happy. People are in denial about, I think they're in denial. Most people are in denial about what is really, or they don't see it. They don't look at history. They don't look at like, oh my God, you know, and I don't mean to be negative, but they don't look at the, you know, the eco-catastrophe, you know, that's here. They don't look Australia being on fire, 1 billion animals being killed, and it's, you know, they don't want to look at that. They consider that a bummer, man. I like Greta Thunberg, the 16-year-old Swedish girl who's been leading everybody. You know, she's pissed off. She's fucking pissed. And that's what makes her compelling to me. Her rage is palpable, you know. I remember one of my comedy friends, Eric Slovin, many years ago told me, Pepitone, your pain is palpable.
Greta Thunberg is channeling some of your...
My pain, though, wasn't my rage. I don't know. I kind of just wear shit on my sleeve. I can't
Your pain
help
isn't palpable anymore. It's your rage is now palpable.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, what's your answer to? You say the rage is going to only manifest when, well, quote unquote, rich people.
It's got to become
levels of rich. By the way,
it's got to become uncool. When it becomes uncool, when all the mainstream shit becomes uncool, think of the 60s and 70s. Mm-hmm. When the mainstream shit becomes uncool and people don't trust the establishment, they don't trust people who have made it. They don't trust the people who are telling them, here's what will make your life better. I mean, I lived through the 90s. My young adult life was the 90s. You know what the 90s was? Self-help gurus, Tony Robbins, all that shit, Oprah Winfrey, The Secret. Let me tell you how to manifest. It was all this new age guru shit. Don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah.
Chicken soup for the soul.
Some of that is, right, but some of that stuff is kind of good advice. Some, not much,
but
right?
But
what is it? It's sort of like...
desperate. It's fucking desperate, and it's dishonest. It's fucking dishonest. And it's
because what we really need are good jobs, good communities, right? Like good jobs. People need like good jobs, decent wages, you know, not fucking huge unemployment and just getting fucked at every turn by, you know, the corporate masters, right? I mean, and so what they give you then is like, it's nobody's fault but your own. You need to, like, right? That's what those gurus are about, isn't it? The self-help gurus. You need to make it happen. I mean, obviously, you have to work hard in the world, right? Which is what they kind of say.
Or
like life coaches. What do life coaches do?
Well, that's another thing.
My last life coach took
When did that
his
even
life.
become a thing?
He took his life, but he made a list of 5 things I should do every day. And I'm thinking, but you took your life, pal. You know what I mean? Like he made a list
just
for me
before
to
he
do
took his own.
Yes, that was part of his suicide note. And Eddie Pepitone.
What were the 5 things?
He said, I need to get up early. I need to make my bed immediately. Somehow that was a metaphor for the whole day. I need to eat well. I need to exercise, and I need to believe in myself. And then, boom, he put a gun up below his chin.
The most shocking thing is that you, Eddie Pepitone, had a life coach.
I'm kidding.
I know. Nobody believes that shit.
Hey, Emma, where are we at minute-wise? 44.
That's
okay.
not bad.
That's good.
But I think the 90s is the reason I said the 90s is because there was no counterculture happening. There was no, everything was Disney, you know, it being in college, people were signing you up for credit cards on the college campus. nobody really understood. Young people, my generation did not understand what was happening, what was coming. It was all party. It was all like Reagan era, Bill Clinton playing the saxophone, like an extension.
But people
of
are
Reagan.
even dumber now. No.
I don't know.
A lot of people.
I don't think so, man.
I think we got in trouble with the millennial. Remember, we got a scathing email from a millennial, and I really respected it.
Because of something I said, remember?
Yeah.
I sent you an email, and then you had me read the email it was a private email that was not meant to be read, but...
Really?
Yes.
Did I not do that? Did you say that? I don't know.
I didn't think twice about it. I just read it, and that it touched a nerve with a guy who was a millennial.
Where he was saying that, hey, assholes, we're living the fucking dystopia you're talking about, money-wise and all that. And I had to respect that.
I did too.
Yeah.
But I think it's because living in L.A. and seeing a millennial showcasing and trying to make it, and this desperate kind of... Los Angeles is not the country. And Los Angeles is this kind of desperate... approve of me, make me, I'm cute, help me. And that is what I think turns me off. And I applied that to all millennials, which was not fair.
Right.
But no, I think people are enraged now. People are really aware. The only good thing about Trump is that people are not politically sedate like they've been for the past 40 years. People are really terrified and really aware of everything that's going on.
Okay.
More than they were.
Like, for instance, like the impeachment trial is going on. And I look at that
as a
like,
charade.
Like kind of just like Democrats like Adam Schiff, who is, I don't know, I guess he's leading. I don't know. But these Democrats are just as complicit. Schumer, the only ones I like are the new ones like AOC.
Tulsi Gabbard is cool.
Yes, Tulsi Gabbard.
Cool.
There's just a few though who really call out the war machine. The endless wars, which is based on endless fear, like the big picture stuff.
It's good that things are coming apart, man. This thing has been a charade for too long, and it's got to come apart. And things are going to get worse before they get better.
Boy, you say that like a gunslinger, ready to go,
I think things are going to be okay, man. I think it's...
that's great that you think things are going to be okay, because that's, we need like kind of like that attitude, I think. Look, it's going to be okay. And when I get into it, it's like, it's going to be okay with no matter what happens.
It is.
Is that your... I
don't know where it comes from, brother, because I have...
Because you have rage.
I do, and I have moments all day where I'm enraged. I see shit and I'm enraged.
What about you wanted to talk about a guy throwing money today.
Oh, yeah. So the freeway off-ramp, there was a guy in a wheelchair with a sign, homeless, hungry. And there was a red light, and we were all sitting, and I was probably about 5 cars back. And in the very front was a brand new BMW. And I guess I was thinking, well, if I was closer to this guy, I could give him $1, but I didn't have $1. I had was a 5. So this is what's going through my head. I can't give up a 5. I'm not rolling like I can give up a 5. Unfortunately, people, not to brag, I can't give up a 5.
I can.
Okay. So if it had been Eddie, it would have been different. But, so the light turns green and it's time for everyone to go. And the driver puts his hand out the window. As the light turns green, the driver rolls his window down and throws a couple of bills just chucks a couple bills at the homeless guy in the wheelchair. And the bills, the homeless guy in the wheelchair doesn't even reach for the bills. He's just like, he can't get up. He can't get them. And they don't make it to the guy. They fall in the gutter. And, the cars are just going. And I'm not even sure how to judge it. But it was something that if you saw it in a movie, it would say a million things, and you wouldn't have to. You could put your own judgment to it. But it was so perfect to describe like the time we're living in, I guess. In
you know what's wild is that you're telling that story, and maybe because I heard the story before, but I just spaced out thinking, oh, I should have my wife cut my hair. Like that's what I was thinking about during that whole speech. Like.
You're bald.
No, but I have sideburn. You know, I need trims though.
Yeah.
With my remaining hair because it just grows out. And as you're talking about this person throwing money at a guy in a
just
wheelchair,
daydreaming
I'm like,
about...
what if Karen cut my hair, like trim my sideburns, got the ear hair out, you know?
Maybe she could wax the ear hair for you, Eddie.
Handlebar ear hair?
I mean,
mustache?
if she's not changing the oil in the car, I wouldn't trust her with this.
But yeah, so all right, I was just being silly there because I just wanted to let people know this is we do comedy on this podcast, but we like to, especially when we don't have a guest. When we have a guest, it goes all over. They're usually ready to be very funny because, and then sometimes, and I'm just in a low-key mood today,
Well, we both bombed. We're both sort of in a low-key mood. And we have a lot of serious shit to talk about because we haven't had a solo podcast in a long time,
That's true. Is there anything else? Is there anything, before we wrap it up, is there anything that really, stands out about what is going on right now? The impeachment trials, you saying that shit is going to hit the fan, big time. Anything specifically you wanted to talk about in regard to our dissolution?
Well, we had a financial collapse before Trump.
2008.
That's something I was thinking about. So people who think...
There's so much debt in the country.
Yeah, but and inflation. So people who think that, it always fascinates me to be in LA and California, and these people, I know the middle of the country is different, but these people in California who think Trump appeared and then everything fell apart.
The resistance.
Yeah, the heroic resistance.
The heroic resistance.
Yeah.
I like when you get pissed off at that, and there's no counterculture.
There's no counterculture. They're just guys in uncomfortable pants. That's all there is. There's no
Well, everything is corporate sponsored, and if you want money and you want a nice place to live, which everybody wants a nice place to live, then you've got to play that corporate game,
but
right?
Bernie Sanders can raise hundreds of millions of dollars from my $3 donation, so maybe times something's maybe not. You'd think. But I don't know.
Did you give Bernie some money?
I gave him $15 or $21 or something. $3 donations, like 7 $3 donations over the past 6 months.
I'll have to give him more than that. If you gave him that much, I'll have to give him 50.
All the money I've made, basically on this podcast, has gone to Bernie Sanders.
Well, like I said, we just got a $5 donation from Elizabeth
Warren. Elizabeth.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
Yeah, she is.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Yeah, thank you, Elizabeth, for that donation. And other people, you should... Oh, we have one subscriber. No Wrangle has subscribed to us on YouTube. Other people are leaving the subscription program.
Are they?
No, I'm kidding.
By the way, we have a show that's going to... Another episode will be filmed soon.
Let's plug that before we go and plug our dates and all that.
Yeah, there's a show on YouTube through the All Things Comedy, this place where we do our podcast. And they produced a show that Eddie and I co-created called Comedians Without Cars Getting Soda. It's a parody of Jerry Seinfeld's yuppie shit that he does. And it stars this guy. And it's the first episode has Sam,
this guy.
Yeah, and the first episode has Sam Tripoli, and it's the absolute couldn't be the most perfect opposite thing of Seinfeld's show. And you should go on YouTube and watch it, share it, subscribe, please. Pimp it out on social media. And,
yeah, we've gotten how many thousands?
Like 22,000 views.
It's nice.
It's pretty good.
It's nice, and we're going to do another one. We just have to wait and see when ATC, our All Things Comedy here, is going to do it. Okay, you want to go to eddiepepitone.com. Go to my website. I'm going to go to it right now. I'm going to show you how easy it is to go to eddiepepitone.com. You just go in the search bar, and you hit eddiepepitone.com. God damn it. Motherfucker.
So we have a show that we're doing that I'm going to plug right now. tomorrow night, Eddie and I are both at the Comedy Dojo. Eddie's the headliner. The Comedy Dojo in Hollywood at 7 p.m. in the Sycamore Tavern.
Yeah, Sycamore Tavern,
really cool.
La Brea, and Sunset if you're in L.A. tomorrow night. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be doing a bunch of... This is why I'm asking you to go to eddiepepitone.com. I'm going to be doing a bunch of shows all over. I'm going to be in Santa Clarita, February 20th at JR's Comedy Club. I'm going to be at DNA's Comedy Lab in Santa Cruz the 21st of February. February 23rd, I'm going to be at the Funk Factory in Santa Barbara. February 24th, I'm going to be at the Kibitz Room in West Hollywood.
All right.
March 26th, I'm going to be at the Bird City Comedy Festival in Phoenix. March 26th, 27th, I'll be there. And then I'm going to be doing Skankfest in Houston, Texas, March 28th and 29th. Plus, I'm a regular here at the Comedy Store and the Hollywood Improv. I'm at the Hollywood Improv tonight if you're watching this live on YouTube in the main room. Mm-hmm. Did you want to plug any other shows?
Yeah, I'm going to be on the 28th. I'm in the Gallagher's Pub in Long Beach. 29th, I'm back at the Comedy Dojo. The 1st of February, I'm at the Three of Clubs, which is in Hollywood on Vine and Santa Monica.
Oh, I've done the Three Clubs.
Yeah.
It's Santa Monica.
How's that
and Vine.
Yeah, something like that, right.
Yeah, it's a nice room.
Oh, cool.
Behind the bar.
I've never done it. First time. And then April 1st through 4th, I'll be on the Palm Coast of Florida, which is like St. Augustine, Flagler, Jacksonville Beach.
Now, do you have a website that people can find all this stuff?
I do not. I have purposely taken it down.
Why?
Because the person who created and is hosting the website has failed to do their job. The website is not up, but you can find me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All those dates will be up. Stephen Lally, Lally Comedy on Twitter. Stephen Lally.
And you'll put those dates up. Get a website,
dates are always
by the way.
up. Thank you, Eddie.
Get an intern. Get somebody to get.
I have a website. Thank you, Eddie. I have a website.
I know. You should for your dates. And
thanks, buddy. I know.
You could get a blog. You could get WordPress and talk about things. I don't do that.
I had it up, but there were some forces of nature that are working against me. So.
All right, our producer is Matt Rasamoto. Leave us a message at that number I gave you before. And thanks, everybody, for listening. And we'll see you next time on Pep Talks.